All right, we're live. What's up, y'all?
Hey guys. How is everyone?
Turn this down. There we go. How's that? Is that too loud? Anybody, can you hear that? Not you, spirits. I'm talking to the people in the chat. Okay. Okay. They've been waiting, guys.
They have been.
They've been waiting. Just want to let y'all know.
Oh, they're lighting up. We know.
All right. So let's get some people. Let people trickle in. I just stuck this notification up just a little while ago. So who shows up? Who shows up?
What's a little while ago?
Took a half an hour.
Oh. I thought we agreed to this like around noon today.
Yeah, I know, but it's all right. Everybody hear us okay? Give us a thumbs up if you hear us okay, and if the music's not too loud or anything like that. Hey, Barbie. I love 80s music, and this is Oingo Boingo, and this song is featured on Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield, one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
Hey, Barbie.
Hey, Lisa. So, Lynn was going to try to make it. She's not going to be able to make it. Drazo says hello to everybody. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. And the spirits say hello.
They have been reminding him literally since even before we came on.
They have.
When we get ready, like when we're like setting up and getting music and just talking and getting prepared, we'll set them up first, and we'll get little signs when he forgets to, like he said like earlier, well, Lynn can't be here, so I guess it's just me and you. And this thing started beeping. That was the first time it beeped all night. And the K2 meters started going off like they are right now. Just saying like, hey, we're here too.
Yep.
They make the show.
They do. They don't like to be forgotten. And you know, that's what we like to. We like our spirits.
We love our spirits.
Kate stays confused. Hey, Johnny and Tab. Say hi to my mom, the Duchess. She's watching. Like, hello. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate it. Hope we entertain you a little bit.
I'm really flattered about that.
What's that? They're watching us?
Yeah. That somebody invited their mom to watch us.
Yeah. That means a lot. Hey, Rabbit of Chaos. What's going on? There's Becca. Hey, everyone. Hi, Tab and JM. We are just chilling tonight. Nothing really on the agenda. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk about anything in particular, throw it in the chat. And you know, I can shoot from the hip on live streams. No problem for me.
Actually, that reminded me of something.
Oh, she waved back. Okay, well, we'll give you a big wave.
You just reminded me that, like, I was thinking before the show, actually, I was going to discuss it with you, but now I'll just share it with everybody.
Okay.
But we've been discussing, like, just trying to get more, like, in a routine with going live before we start traveling, just to make it, like, part of our schedule. So we were going to do Saturday nights, like we have been.
Spirits with spirits.
I was going to suggest that we, like, see if they had any good ideas for the name of a Saturday night regular show.
Yeah, let's come up with some names,
and
guys.
Then maybe we could even put like a little poll on our channel, like to make it a little interactive. So we just wanted to like have a more consistent like show. So if anybody has any ideas, we've been going back and forth. We thought like spirits because it's the one night a week that we were gonna like have a glass of wine or something to just like decompress and chat with you guys and our spirit friends.
Yep.
So if you have any suggestions, let us know.
So earlier, I went to this consignment shop around the corner. It's this vintage shop, not just clothes. You walk in there and you're walking into like You remember the Thomas House video? We just put up all those knickknacks and things they had everywhere. It reminds me very much of that. And all these items, some of them are consignment, so they're all like personal items of people. And what's more personal than like a formal or semi-formal dress? Uh, I know there's one that you had for years that are in some pictures, that blue floral one that you've worn in a lot of.
Oh, it's still in my closet. It's one of my favorites.
That's what I'm saying. So Lynn, so check this out, guys. So I go and I walk through this place. I open the door to this place. Wham! I'm hit with this huge wave of energy, and doing what we do, I could immediately tell that there was spirits around. Immediately. On my heels, though, there was like a family of like 4. So I did not start my thing. I was going to just start recording. Actually, I did. I did like a 15-second thing where I said, hey, I feel you guys here. Can you say your names? I got 3 EVPs, but there was people talking, music playing. If it had been quiet, I would have caught it. But Lynn, okay, are you from there? Did you follow me from the shop? Can you back away and make it stop beeping? Oh wow, they're really
good.
good.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, OG? Okay, I hope that's not the one person.
What one person?
Can you back away and make that stop? Come sit on the couch next to us so it stops beeping. Can you do that? I'm gonna turn off the beeper, okay?
We did that last.
I'm gonna. Well,
then that just, I don't know.
They can still beep it with their by touching it. See, look, they did it again.
I told you to
I'll give it
down.
a second. All right. Yeah, you're playing games with me. All right, I'm coming again.
Stop it again. I would love it. Please.
All right, guys, come on. You gotta give me a break with this thing. All right. Now, if they touch that can, it will still beep. What you're hearing is them changing the temperature. That's the temperature fluctuation that you're hearing. All right, so I think that was the person. So what happened was, I go into the shop. I feel all this energy. So I walk out. I'm in the car and I call Lynn. I said, Lynn, are you free? So immediately she calls me, because she was, and she's like, I'm feeling energy. What are you doing? I said, I just came out of this vintage consignment shop. And she's like, okay, I'm seeing a mannequin with a dress. And I said, and I just left the back room where there was a mannequin in a dress. Okay, keep in mind, she had no clue where I was. I did not tell her the name. Now, you can go online and look at some pictures, but I don't even think the mannequin's on there. So she tells me about this mannequin and this woman attached to the dress. So these things, I'm gonna do a walkthrough with her. If I can get in, we're gonna do a walkthrough. Let her do a reading, a FaceTime reading. You guys will be able to see, because we're gonna record it. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get all the EVPs and validate all the people. So then she says, "Is there a like an antique doll there?" I said, yes, there is. And she's like, "Does it have like a little crib and the stuff?" There was like a vintage little doll setup in the room right before the room with the dress. So she hit that nail on the head. Then she starts talking about, is there a glass case with some type of memorabilia in it? And there was. There definitely, that was right in the back. So 3 different things. She hits the nail on the head. And the energy, guys, was off the charts. So why do you think the energy is off the charts, guys? My theory is all the stuff. Remember John Zaffis? My daughter, my youngest daughter, she used to kind of watch some of the stuff with me, but she doesn't like the creepiness, the creepy shows, but she would like The Haunted Collector, John Zaffis. I like him. I wish he was still on, actually. But there's a lot. There's stuff to that.
Well, actually, while you're saying that, though, because it kind of ties in, with OG Mike's question. Excuse me. It says, "What's your thoughts on energy associated with clothing of people who have passed? Is there anything that should be done to clear it?"
Ooh, now that would be a question for Lynn.
It would be. And I just wanted to elaborate just a little bit on that because, our daughter sleeps in my grandmother's gown. And for a long time, she didn't, it was washed, of course,
but she kept it for a while.
She kept it without washing it again.
She could smell. Yes. She kept the smell.
Like that, yes, because she used a different detergent.
That's not.
But she sleeps in it. During all of her pregnancies, my grandmother was a larger woman, and so her gown was large, and my daughter's tiny.
You ever seen Soul Food?
She's 4'10". My daughter.
If you want to picture her grandmother, she looks like the grandmother on Soul Food.
So she slept in my grandmother's gown during all of her pregnancies.
Wonderful woman too. Wonderful.
And she just shared that with me, and it made me really emotional. I feel like it would have made anybody really emotional, but I've been extra sensitive with my emotions lately.
But that's because of what we do, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's that, and then a little bit of science. I think I'm premenopausal.
Oh, okay.
The chat's majority women, so if you've been through it, then you understand. We have been fighting over the fan at night. He's always hot when I'm cold, and I'm always cold when he's hot. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, the married people in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you argue with your spouse over the temperature, the thermostat. I want to know how common that is. I bet you there's going to be a lot of 1s in the chat because this is a thing that we, a lot of times I won't be. She'll be freezing, right?
But wait, let me just give just a very small bit of history. I am notoriously cold. My whole abnormal. And John will tell you, my hands and feet, to the point where I really think I have a condition. They get so cold that when I'm working with patients, I can triple glove and they could still feel my cold hands. You know how cold
they're
my
like ice.
Get.
They're like ice. Yeah, they're literally like ice cubes. She's colder than a corpse. Literally, I don't know how they get that. I don't really do. They're actually. It's what's weird is that sometimes they're colder than the room temperature. How does that even happen?
It's odd. So,
it is.
Almost every other year, my kids buy me heated blankets because I live under them. It was to the point where I thought something was wrong with me, that if I was under the heat so much that my internal body temperature was changing. So, with that being said, I thought I would welcome when I started having hot flashes and stuff until you feel like you're internally getting ready to combust.
Yeah, I know.
So I think that's why I've been extra sensitive, even though I got way off the topic.
It's all right. I do that too. Let's see. We just lost my dad, the love of her life. Anything some strikes fancy makes it. Yeah. The tailor-made clothes. My dad dressed in tailor-made clothes. So did my dad. In fact, my mother has my father's tailor-made clothes that he passed away in. Pants, button-up shirt. It was a custom-made shirt. Everything. The sweater and because my dad was a fashion guy. He liked snazzy clothes, and it runs in the family, I guess. Is that him verifying? That could have been him verifying right there. He does come through. But my mom did the same thing, smelling the clothes. But it's been 45 years.
Things that are like the last little cologne that she keeps in this box, this with his
all this
a shirt that's been your mom has never washed that shirt.
Well, it's why would you?
I don't know. It just does something to my heart to know that all these years, the way she still
it was the love of her life.
Feels about that.
It was the love of her life. It's now. Can you be happy with other people? If you lose somebody, and I don't know. I've Would you want me to remarry if you pass? Would you want me to remarry?
I would, and I truly mean that, because like I know your personality, and you can't be alone, and
I need
you
somebody. Yeah,
literally need somebody to take care of you. Literally. But that's why like we're polar opposites, and I think that's why our marriage actually works like really, really well, because like I need to take care of someone even if I bitch about it. But occasionally, but I feel like I need to take care of someone. Like there are things that like John will offer to do for me like all the time. And he gets so frustrated with me because I just don't want him to do it, because I just want to do it a certain way.
My buddy here a wrench, because
and I was
what's
raised
a wrench between friends, right?
By my grandmother, and she was very, very old school. Like so like she fed the kids and then her husband and then she fed herself. Like my aunts who are way older than me get on me for that. So I would definitely want you to be married to somebody, and I that would take care of me.
I'm
a for you, excuse me.
Yeah, I thought about that lately, Tab. I've had like mixed feelings about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'd rather you be happy. If somebody else, you can be happy with other people.
He
but
says that
this all
in private.
We're going on a tangent here.
You truly want me to remarry. But we're not going on a tangent.
Well,
we're talking about
we started
after
with
death.
Well, obviously my mom still has feelings for my a father that have never died. You know what I mean? So like that's how it went. So like yes, I think that I would feel the same way for you, the way she feels for him. Now she remarried. Can you be happy with other people? I say yes. Of course you can be happy with other people, but I think there's when you find that person, then it's going to be very hard to replace that.
I can tell you that I know that I wouldn't. I guess. Oh, the washer's off balance. I have our blanket in it. I know that I wouldn't remarry. I might have like a companion, but I would not.
Okay.
Remarry. I don't want to remarry. I think I would be selfish. I'm done raising kids.
Yeah.
I think I would be selfish. I'm just being honest. I'll be right back.
Well, let's see. I'm not way I take. Yeah, that's what she takes care of me, Lisa. I would be very discombobulated on my own. You know what I mean? I've been. She's taken very good care of me. Very, very lucky. Believe me, Drazo's told me stories about his past and his divorce, and some of the stuff that he's went through, and some other friends have told me about some horror stories. Believe me, I'm very, very blessed. And I've been a hellion and put her through some shit. We've been together almost 30 years, and I went through my running the streets and partying days while married. Okay, so I've been out of that stage for a long time, but the fact that she stuck with me through all that, is huge. Okay, let me get back to the chat here. Good song. He's around. Drazo's around. I'm friends with a few people that have gotten off of YouTube. I don't blame them, man. These people, look, some of you guys know there's people right now that are still playing videos to attack me, and in some of those videos they're replaying, or people are replaying videos. Oh, Drazo says he misses you too, Kate. He misses all you guys. Trust me. Does it have anything to do with the good people? Of course not. It's the few people that just can't be adults, and I get it when you have a family and you have priorities. You can't gamble with those, and allow people to intrude into your life. And it's much more peaceful being out of the drama. Like it's believe me, guys, I hear it all the time. People are playing videos to attack me. People are playing videos to attack my wife. They're playing old videos of other people attacking me so they can say, well, I didn't do it, I'm just playing what this person said. Of course, and they're going to act like they're not doing anything, but what they're doing is a direct attack on me and my family and my wife, because my kids watch me. My kids, what you guys are doing are attacking my family. You're upsetting my children. You're upsetting my family by playing these videos. Now, if I ask them to stop, do you think they would stay? They're agreeing. Now, do you think they would stop? Of course not, because this is their life. This is their content. And we understand that jealousy is a very, very powerful thing. And it's a very powerful sickness. And the price of admission on YouTube is to deal with assholes.
But I give
zero fucks.
Cares.
Yeah, zero. You can say it. She gives zero fucks. Like, I'm sure people have asked, why haven't they responded, or why hasn't Tabetha responded to I don't need to go into detail of what's happened. Some of y'all know. Why hasn't she responded? It's YouTube. She doesn't care about these people. These people mean nothing. We're talking about people that we know who they are. People in mommy's basement are just degenerates that have no life. This is their life. And I feel sorry for you.
And
truly.
We're boring our spirits.
Yeah, we're boring the spirits. I'm sure they don't care about this. They don't care about the drama. But they did heckle me and Lynn earlier. So we did. Lynn wanted.
You and Lynn did a session.
We did a session. So I came home. I set up the stuff, and she has somebody that she found out that passed named Mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's come through several times. Yeah, you're gonna be. I won't tell, bro. Yeah, no, yeah, crumb bones. Yep, exactly. We don't care, So what do? We have fun on here. That's it. Have a good time. Meet some good people along the way, and enjoy the ride, guys. That's what it's all about. Doing new things, new experiences, making good memories. Family first, stuff like that.
I say, like, social media. People can get on there and they can make their lives look great, and people could get on there and they could scam you, make your lives look bad, their lives look bad. And so I literally, when I tell you, I don't even feel like anything. Like, literally, I feel nothing, because that's how much I don't care about what's said about me. In
Classy
the future,
woman right here, guys. Classy woman.
I literally mean that, because I'm doing what I like to do with you, and I know what truly happens here, and that's it. Period.
Steve goes and plays of it. Oh, now see, Barbie. Now believe me. I think Steve-O, is that? Are you here, brother? I should have put the other flashlight. I turned the other one off, I think. Sometimes he can make that thing beep, like trying to pick the can up. See if you can do that for us, Steve-O.
I just want to agree with Lisa really quick, because I literally said that to you. I said, I feel sorry. That's what I said. I said, I feel sorry for people who spend their day doing that.
It's not life, man.
Like, what kind of life is that? Like, while we're out, like, enjoying life and not caring, and this is for everybody, not just any situation we've been in. It's literally for everybody. If that's all you want to do is sit in front of your computer and say hateful, nasty things about people, then you have a very sad existence.
That's true.
You really do, because there's so much more to life.
Yeah. No, I know it. I met Gunner. That's like, and they make fun of that. Like because I went and I made some good friends. Like Gunner invited me up I met him in Michigan. We drove up to the Upper Peninsula, and he took me steelhead fishing. And I went out there, and it was like my third cast. I literally hooked one with a worm. It's hard to get a steelhead to bite on a worm too. It's got to be just the perfect setting. It's got to like literally drift right in front of their mouth, and they got to be hungry. So literally, I caught a giant steelhead, and which was really cool for me because the only time I ever caught a trout was in a swimming pool in a mall in Florida, right? So I wanted to catch one in the wild. I caught this steelhead.
A swimming pool in a mall?
Nana took me there. So yeah, there's for like $10 or something. They starved these little rainbow trout. They had them in a swimming pool, a big swimming pool, a portable one in the middle of the mall, and you paid like $10 or something, and they gave you one fish egg on a hook, and as soon as you dropped it in, they would nail it because they were starving, and so basically they were just selling fish because you got to keep the fish if you wanted to, or you could release it back, and I didn't keep it, but that's the only time. But that's not catching a trout. That doesn't count, right? That doesn't count. That's fish in a barrel, right? So I caught the steelhead. We cooked it and ate it. I ate out in Bigfoot country. It was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, he's trying to get me to go do that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, we could take a trip out, see Gunner, and like camp with his wife. And I've heard about these guys' trips. I'm just gonna leave it at a guy's trip. I like to camp, but not like that. I don't need to be in a camp or anything special, but they go out in the woods.
Good eating. Yeah. So I literally
like to no man's land.
He literally. There's a video of this, guys. I'll put the link in my community. There's a video of Gunner instructing me. So I had this big ass like not a hatchet, machete like knife that had some serrades on it, so you can like saw or you can chop. And I literally cleaned this big ass fish to his, and he said I did a phenomenal job. He's like, dude, it looks like you've been cleaning fish for years.
It looked delicious. You sent me pictures.
Yeah, I just got lucky, guys. I got lucky. Now I cleaned it, beautiful fish. We cooked it on the fire, lemon and pepper right there. It's like nothing you could buy in a store.
Yeah.
It was. I'd like to do that again. But I'm gonna go up same river. The salmon run through there, the same river. So, and those things are massive. So I'm gonna go up this fall for that. You're gonna come up this time.
I'm pretty sure I won't.
Well, you can hang out with his wife. She goes. She'd like Maria. Maria's cool.
I'm sure I would like his wife, but that's way too off grid for me.
I'd love to try. I've never hit a pike neither, but I've caught a gar. Not the same thing though. So yeah, Steve. So back, who said it? Barbie earlier said something about. What's up, Steve?
Yeah, we would need to get back on.
Have I wanted to send spirits to heckle people? I have. I've wanted to.
Really?
I have.
I'm disappointed.
But I haven't. I haven't.
But you wanted to.
I've said yes. What have I thought about? Yeah, I would love to send over, a dozen spirits to terrorize people, or not really terrorize them, but like make them know their house is haunted. You know what I mean? Like just to spook them a little bit. But then I thought no, because that's me putting negative energy out into the world, right? And that's gonna come back on me. I'm a big believer in karma, guys. If you haven't gotten yours yet, believe me, you will.
It depends on the day of the week.
Yeah, it comes back, guys. It does come back.
Sometimes I try to remind you, like it's gonna karma, and actually, after you think about it, you agree usually 9.5 times out of 10.
Yeah, we'll definitely come to Colorado. Yeah, I've been through Colorado. I've never actually spent time in Colorado. I've been through a lot of states. More than you, actually.
A lot more than me. Like the first
Almost
time
all
that
of
I
them.
actually went out of state was like on our honeymoon. Like,
On an actual, like,
yeah,
driving vacation.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
went to Kentucky, but
That
it's
doesn't
right
count.
next
That's 10 minutes.
door.
That's 10 minutes
Right.
away.
I
We're
mean,
10
no,
minutes.
it was like 5 hours into Kentucky, into the hills with my friend's family.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But other than that,
That's
was
one
it.
state over.
Like, so our honeymoon was nothing elaborate, but I was like, you would have thought he took me on a.
This shit here, man. Woo. Let me tell you.
You would have thought he took me on some expensive vacation, and we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and
3 states.
we were getting
2
ready to
states away.
leave, and our son started crying, and he couldn't leave without him. So we took our son on our honeymoon.
He was a baby. He was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
But I was like so excited.
Guys, come on. It was my first kid. You guys know new parents, you know how it is. New parents, they want everybody to wash their hands before they hold the baby, and they're all picky about who watches the baby. We were new parents. We were very young parents. That's why. I'm just, I had a rough childhood, and it's hard. Especially not now. I've gotten better now, but when I was younger, it was very, very hard for me to trust people. I just didn't want to leave my son. That's all. So I'm still a sucker for that. I'm still a sucker for the kids.
You're still very like picky about that. Like we were talking about, I love babysitting my grandchildren. I babysit them 1 day a week, every Wednesday. I look forward to that day. And we were out of town at the Thomas house, and my daughter was having like babysitting trouble, and she's like didn't want to call off or anything because she's new. And oh, excuse me.
Yeah, this stuff's got this some strong stuff.
I just like had heartburn, like really bad.
You want a water? Let me get a glass of water for you.
No, I'll get a bottle of water. You can take over. Give me just a
You're
second.
good.
I gotta get water.
Do you have the 4-year cycle of heavy salmon spawning? I would love to see that. I would love this. I bet you Gunners it knows all about that.
Ooh,
yeah, I'm. We're gonna do some stuff. I enjoy that. I actually have not been fishing this year. I need to get out there. So this is bring it in here, babe. It's just buzzball stuff. So
it is very like last time.
It sneaks up on you.
No more of this for me.
Yeah, this is going to be the last buzzball we buy. I think
I gotta do like a wine cooler because we don't drink often. And
Arbor Mist is good for me.
That was the first drink a few weeks ago that you've had in how long?
Yeah, this is my third drink in like over a decade.
Yeah, over a decade for sure. Like he's been very, very compliant.
Yeah, I'm not going to start.
Yep. They're agreeing.
Yeah, it's. I've never been much of a drinker, so Saturday night spirits with spirits. I think that's okay. I mean, it's.
But last week I felt bad afterwards.
This is what it is, bro.
I felt really bad.
It's like this chocolatey stuff. It goes down. What it is it goes down too easy. It sneaks up on you.
What it is.
It's kind of like White Russians. The Kahlua used to make these little 4-packs of White Russian. The big bottle wasn't the same. The little 4-packs. That's what this tastes like. They don't make those anymore. I only liked a few things. What's going on, Bud Files? How you doing? True. Let's see. Yeah, you could use a net with the fish. Yeah, you could literally, they're big ass fish though. I would just like to see that. I like to see nature. I would like to, what we would like to see is some of those sea turtle nests hatching, because where we go on vacation, every year they have it all taped off, and you can't touch them. They got signs. You get fined. You get arrested for going near those turtle nests. But there's tons of them, and we have not seen any hatch. So yeah, we haven't used this. Hey guys, you still here? I wish they would pick up that can and make it beep.
Change the setting.
Yeah, well they can. Their energy, if they go near it, they can make it beep. What I did is I removed the temperature sensor on it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Let's see.
So we went to Key West once on like a day trip. So we stayed in Lauderdale by the Sea for a decade with our kids for our family vacation every year. And oh my gosh, I remember when we took our kids to Disney.
Let's roll this one, guys. That's what you call a bag of bugs. I'm gonna roll me a fatty.
But I always wanted to go to the Keys, so we drove in. John, just you and I, or did we take the kids? I can't remember.
No, the Keys was just me and you. We drove down, yeah.
For like a day trip, for a lunch or a dinner or something.
It's a pretty place for a man-made place.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the I wonder. So Steve-O, he came through earlier. So me and Lynn were doing this session. She has a person from her past, a gentleman by the name of Mark, has been showing up. So she found out. She'd have to tell the story, but it's a weird story, and she wanted to get some confirmation that he's around. So she's had a reading from Hillary, and he's come through. And she just wanted to see if I could get Mark to come through as well, doing it the way we do it. So we set up the spirit box. He came through. He said his first name, his last name, his brother's name. And then we had somebody that started saying nasty things. They started with the nasty. They started saying like slut, other not so other not so nice words. Then they got a hold of the can, and they would not stop beeping the can, and they were doing it intentionally. So we shut it down. Wow. Lynn's like no, we need to shut it down. I'm getting a not so good feeling. So we shut it down, and that was it.
How long of a session was it?
About 20 minutes, half an hour. We didn't record or nothing. We've done that before. Sometimes it's better. That's something that I was going to try to offer if we ever do memberships. I don't know if we're going to do those or not. Definitely not for a while. But if anybody wants to get with me and Tab, that's something that we can do for people, is private sessions where like a FaceTime, and we set up the stuff right here, the K2s, the flashlights, the REM pod, and then we do the spirit box, and you can ask your questions through FaceTime. Your people will come through, and Lynn loves it because she's spoken to her parents. She's spoken to Mark. Pretty much, I don't think we've had a problem getting anybody to come through.
No.
We've had people. Mod 148. She asked me to get her father to come through. His name's Jerry. He came through very clearly too. So I sent her that. A lot of people have come through over this last year. YouTube people, and what's wild is some of them I don't even know their names. Just by them being in their energy, by them being in the chat, communicating with me, that's all it took for them to come through. Yep. So they're watching the videos, and they're hearing names and phrases or names of streets, or they're picking up stuff that they know is for them. So I think that's cool. But to be able to target the investigation, to put specific questions, like if you want somebody specific, and then what we can do is record it, and then I can go back and edit it, so you'll have the words popping up, so you'll be able to hear it a little better, because you miss 90% of it. It's tough because you can hear some of the stuff. Like Steve-O came through somehow. Look, want to hear something weird? I'm gonna check this out. If you've been following us, the AM band in our living room has been a problem. Today, for some reason, it was all that static and craziness was gone, and it was just, that's what it sounded like, changing the channel, and the voices were coming through crystal clear.
Well, let's see what we get.
We can try it.
It's ready. Waiting for connection.
Let's see what it does.
Now, in SB7.
Steve-O, can you say your name, bud? Uh-oh, we got a short. Steve-O. Ah, man. What? We got to get another aux cord, babe.
Okay.
Where's the short at on this side?
I just heard a high.
Yeah, this thing's killing me here. Twins?
Yeah.
Twins?
Hold on,
why is it doing this? I'm not even moving. Let me see if I can set it down and not touch it.
I really want it to elaborate.
Every time a voice comes through, it cuts it out. This is who? This is Al?
I didn't hear
Steve-O. David. Hey, David. Who? Yusuf, turn on the flashlight.
Yusuf, is that you? Can you turn on the flashlight?
This thing, man. Why is it doing this?
Because we're live and we always have to have a glitch.
We gotta have a malfunction, I know.
Every time we're out. See, I think I
Brother. Was that Steven or Susan? Because the name Susie is what Lynn said was attached to that dress at that place. Is there a Susie here? Yes. This thing, man. Brett, I've already heard Brett twice. Tell us about the twins. They're telling us right there, and we're missing it. I want to hear that some of the Tottens say their last name for the.
Did it glitch like that with you?
No,
like
it did not. Nope. Nope. That sounds like my brother. Saturday what? It's Saturday. Okay, yeah, it is Saturday. Steve-O, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Did you guys hear that?
Hi,
did you hear that?
That was a good one. Please tell me you guys heard Steve-O.
Put a thumbs up in the chat if you heard him say Steve-O.
Hey, Dara.
Hey, Dara. Man, that sounds like my brother. Who is that? Say your name. That's the guy that's talking with the. Let me see. He told me. Help? What?
They were talking, or Kate was talking about getting together for like a paranormal thing.
Man, okay. Well, I tried a little bit, guys. And it was even cleaner than that. For Lynn, like that static was not there.
Do you know last time, right before we went on live, the last time we had an issue with it, and I said it sounds like it has a short. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then you and Lynn had a session today that I don't know.
Didn't we use it since? We've used it since then. that when we had a short, that was pre-Thomas house.
No, it was after.
Was it?
Yeah, it was after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's we always have. There you go, guys. When you investigate the paranormal, you're gonna have malfunctions. Shit just breaks. I got a spirit box that there's this little. Let me see if you can see on the side of this thing. There's these little jacks. The inputs there. It's just a little round piece, and somehow that little jack broke and fell inside the spirit box. So I have one of these, and the only thing wrong with it is the jack broke and fell in. This is a $200 thing. So like I ordered another one, and guys, I swear to God, I was so tempted to take the broken. This is where
the karma stuff comes in, and I told you that it depends on the day of the week if he wants to believe in karma or not.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, finish the story.
So, you know what I wanted to do, guys? I wanted to take the broken one, put it in the box, and send it back, right? And recover my $200.
And who do you think said, I don't agree with that. That's not the right thing to do. We just need to purchase another one. And then I said, when we start buying equipment for our shows, that we need to start getting like the warranty on these things.
Yeah, well, you can't warranty.
Because I said I feel like
cords.
that's how much I believe in karma. I think I have to remind you that.
I'm always the one that skips the warranty, the extended warranties. Like when they try the extra couple dollars, I always hit skip.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? How many freaking times? How many printers? How many?
Well, we learned our lesson.
Yeah.
You only have to go back and get the same printer 52 times before you're like, oh yeah, I guess that $9.99 warranty would have been worth it.
There's another big lesson that I've learned that I tried that I've instilled in my kids, and they've listened, and that is you get what you pay for. Aha, that's a huge lesson. Always going cheap is not the way to go. You do it right the first time. Do it that's pretty much the same thing. Do it right the first time. You get what you pay for. It's all the same thing. You make sure you do it right, and you use quality stuff, or you buy quality stuff, and you know you don't cheap out, and
oh my God,
and then you take care of your shit.
That is so cute. Kate said, every time my mom walks by my phone, she waves thinking y'all can see her.
Oh, I'll give you another wave.
She said she's dying. I just love it. I just love that.
So they want to get us down in Texas.
I know. I was reading and I was going to read that
OG's
too.
Down in Texas too.
Yeah, so. I know. OG and Kate are both from Texas.
And that's not far from Colorado.
I saw Kate say something about some barbecue.
Just got to go up. I was the part of the conversation. Well, I can't remember. I don't know what that. I tried to read it. It disappeared too fast.
I read it.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's all right.
No, I'm saying I read it, so I'm saying that was oops. And I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I you know what? I have been to Texas, but only through Texas. I had a couple of layovers on like Greyhounds, things like that. I've done a lot of Greyhounds, guys. A lot of Amtrak, lots and lots of Greyhound. And you know, if you take the dog, you're going to be laid over in places for like 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. And I did a 6.5 hour layover in El Paso, and we had to go. I had like 2 or 3 dudes that I met on the bus. We get down there. None of us had nothing. We were looking for some mota, and we went looking for some, and we did find it. But El Paso is right on the border. I mean, I could have thrown a rock into Mexico.
I've only ever had a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth when I was 14,
that's a little different.
Flying out to see my dad.
I've been through there too.
But what I do remember is that it was so hot, and I have flown several times, so hot, and then the gate to get off the plane, it was just extra hot, that they made us like deboard or whatever, get off one at a time. It was that hot.
Well,
and I'd never done that ever before, and I still haven't done it since.
It's a cool. Well, Here's the thing. We had a kid born in California, in San Jose, Santa Clara area.
Beautiful area.
I was born in New York. She's Cincinnati, and my other kids are all from Cincinnati. So we got New York, Ohio, and California. Um, Other than California, I've visited people that our family members used to live in South Dakota by Mount Rushmore, but I was a little kid. Other than that, we haven't done much stuff out there. And of course, I've been to Vegas, but I want to go to like the OK Corral, Deadwood. I want to go through all those Western towns, and I want to do a whole Western tour. That's what I would like to do, guys. Like it's.
Ask me how I feel about Westerns.
You don't want to go and do that?
I want to go do that
towns?
because I know that you want to go do
they're really haunted. I've always wanted to.
We have a list, not really a bucket list, or I guess you could call it a bucket list. So we really want to like try to take turns with like going to different places. Yeah. And I really want to go really like to the East Coast. Like I would like to experience Maine.
Okay. Well, I've been up there.
Lighthouses and
up there it is.
It's because it has 995 towels in it also that we had to
we had to confiscate towels from our son's room.
3 people live in this house, and my son's pushing 30.
Yeah, he's getting
I have
up there.
599 towels.
I can't believe that, guys. I got a kid that old. I can't believe that.
And there's 4 in my bathroom.
Yeah, they disappear. It's like the stock just gets lower and lower. You know, I'm looking it. It sucks when you go to grab a towel and there's nothing but hand towels. It's like, oh, and then you look in the dryer, none there. It's like, what the hell happened? They just disappeared. Nope, they're in my son's room.
Rabbit of Chaos says she's been to Tombstone. That's up your alley.
Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, we want to do one of those Western tours, and I would like to go where I'm a huge Billy the Kid enthusiast. Yeah, I like that stuff. So
Kate says my birth name is old here on both sides. I would totally go to the East Coast with y'all.
Well, there's a few. I would like to go to like Sparks. Tell me if you would like to do this. Would you like to go to Sparks Steakhouse, where the biggest mafia hit of all time took place?
No, because I was getting ready to literally say like,
you don't want to do that.
Sparks.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to get beat. That's true crime.
Not my kind of true crime.
Okay, what's the difference? Explain the difference.
That's your true crime, and I don't watch the mafia stuff. I like it. I mean, I watch.
Okay, well, take that out of it. Let's just put. It's just a murder that happened there. You can take the whole mafia thing out of it, but still.
I wouldn't necessarily want to go eat there.
No, we don't have to eat there. I want to go there and set up the freaking equipment right there.
Like that would.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to go. Different. Yeah, like I want to go right on the freaking curb where the car was. There's the pictures of the car parked and the body's laying. That's what I want to do. I've been really wanting
to investigate like a crime scene anyways. Like I don't know. I even thought about getting certified in forensics.
Forensic nursing.
Forensic nurse.
That's cool.
But like unfortunately, the majority of the time, forensic nurses, at least in this area, are used for things more like, kits that for our,
well,
or SA, that kind of thing.
There are places that the Cincinnati Strangler, that they're still around. Like he was one that was like R-ing people and then killing them. And there's a couple of places. There's an elevator. There's a building downtown near the Metropole Apartments. I happen to know that area pretty well. And he was called. It was, I think, the 60s or 70s. The Cincinnati Strangler, like the Boston Strangler, but we had one in Cincinnati,
which is just sad.
So stuff like that. Like I would like to, but you know what? That's the last thing I want to do is start having creepos.
It's not following me around. That's not where I think. obviously then we would need to start cleansing a lot more. But I
Yeah.
just am ready to like try something different, take it to the next level. We would just need to cleanse more often. I would need to talk to Lynn about how we would
Yeah,
approach that.
that's not something we can just jump into
Yeah.
without preparing, guys. That's you're right. The
I
cleansing
don't know
part.
why I'm so fascinated with true crime, and I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, you started to get me into it.
But I was like watching us like a psychiatrist or someone speak about it before, and then they were basically saying, but I don't believe this because I know how I feel in my heart. But he was basically saying like it's kind of he didn't really call it an addiction, but there's like a part in your brain that like I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of out of my depth, but it made sense like listening to him about it. Like it's not that you want to do it, but you're fascinated by it. Like it, I don't know how to explain what he was saying, but it's almost like a guilty pleasure. Like, so, or they do things that other people have like thought about.
Glenwood Springs.
I know I saw that. I was
Yeah.
going to actually
Is
read
that
that.
Doc Holliday? That's another one. That those are all the ones that see. I kind of envy the shows like Zach Bagans and Ghost Hunters having a channel behind you like the Travel Channel, Sci-Fi, funding your trips to places. That would be that would be ideal. Like I was obviously a kid when I was in the Dakotas. Is that where it is? One of the South Dakota. Uh,
Are you
that's a
talking
neat
about
place.
the Glenwood Springs?
Yeah,
I thought that was Colorado because Lisa was talking about moving to
she's talking about
Colorado.
it. What? Oh, she said in the Dakotas. Um. Oh, it's in Colorado. Okay. See, I don't know, but those are
It's the
the.
Buzzball.
Yeah, that's what it is. But those are one of the things that some of the things we want to do for sure. Let's see. Well, Kate, with the smoking, here I sit. Like it's just what we're all gonna die. None of us are gonna get out of this life alive. Not physically, not with a physical body. Um, you have to just pick your vices. If you enjoy it, then
We both struggle with like the vices thing. Like as far as really it's like food for us. Like we both want to be healthy, so we do eat like smaller portions. We don't eat out. Like we do a lot of things to like, but then we also like we'll sit around and I'll eat a box of fruit snacks and John will eat granola and
yeah,
yogurt, and
we
it's better
indulged
than
in
some
things.
things, but you don't also want to be like very.
No, it's temperance. Moderation is the key. You got to be
Yeah,
temperate in what
yeah,
you do. You can't
because I love my
overdo
food.
things. That's yeah. That's another thing, guys. Like another example of that is I like my sweets, and could I lose a little more weight and keep it off if I left some of the things that I like alone? Sure, but I
They
uh,
agree.
okay. I just enjoy it. I enjoy certain things, and if it takes off 6 months, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I
kind of like to an extent. Like, what are you gonna do? Because in the same token, especially being like a critical care nurse, that I don't think either like
exactly, Kate. There you go. I'm literally not worried. I'm at peace with God, and I know uh, I make my interactions as kind as that's it. All you got to do is just be a good person and experience new things. And make friends. Of course, family's number one, and that's it. Just be a good person and enjoy life. Uh, I know a guy that Harold. Remember Harold? We used to live next door to him, the trucker guy.
yes. Oh gosh,
This
yes.
guy was like
Oh my
was
gosh.
like 80 years old, smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He's out there. This guy was probably 5'6" and weighed like 100 pounds. And he's like out there rebuilding um,
The trucks that
the
he
truck.
owned, like
He was a
semi-trucks.
trucker, a semi truck, right? And he was lifting the heads off of that one handed. You know how heavy those are for a big diesel semi truck. they're. I can't lift it by myself.
And I said, it's the wife. His wife was like 45 years younger than him.
That's what kept him young.
And they had children like together. So it's not like she was just in it for the money or anything. You know what I mean? Like people hear that and they think like
they were from the South. She was from the South and had very old school traditional.
But they had like grown kids and she was still very young, like older than us. We were very young.
She was like 10 years older than me.
No, John.
She was in her 30s.
I think she was in her 40s.
Well,
and you were only in your 20s.
At the
and
most.
I don't even know.
Okay, well, she wasn't.
I was 18. That was the year we got married.
Several decades younger than
this
guy.
I
wonder, I'm sure Harold's passed now because he would be over 100 years old.
Yeah, like 120 or something.
But I'm just saying, like that's he enjoyed his cigarettes and coffee. 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He was an old man, but it's just what he did. And it did not seem to affect him as much. It's just yeah. Some people, I don't know. It's just the hands you're dealt. Like you said, Kate, you're okay. I'm okay too. I'm
hit and miss. Like I'm hit and miss. I remember just this week I was driving to work, and I was like, I just started thinking crazy shit. Like the semi was next to me and all the accident lately that's been with semis. And then I'm in my head like, oh my God, if John and the kids got a phone call that I got hit by a semi. And then I started like being afraid of death again. And I'm like, I haven't been there in a long time. I haven't even shared that with you.
Who was I talking about that? I was talking about that with Lynn today. We had this long conversation about that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I was really done. I just, as you were saying, who was I talking about that with? I was done. I was just thinking, like, is it really that I'm scared of that, or the thought of like you guys being here without me and how you're gonna feel?
That's what it is. That's what it is. Like, it's just that's what it is. Leaving people behind, knowing they're going to be upset.
Oh, something must have happened behind us. Sorry, because she said Lisa
somebody
said
was
I
saying
think
hi.
Harold was saying hi.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Lisa.
You know what? That is
Were you
Harold.
saying hi, Harold? The black one lit up. What's that? Because the pink one's been like going off.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think we've talked about him since he's probably been alive.
And I'm sure we've gotten a Harold too. That's the thing too with the spirit boxes. We've talked about that several times. Like, is it a John we know, or is it a John at the cemetery, or is it a random John? Like, you really don't know unless like they give you certain signs. Like if my mom says it's your mom, or Nana says it's Nana, we know who Steve-O is. But other than that, when we have like random names, we really truly don't know. Or like the Tottens.
Well, yeah, I know Emmeline, Emmeline and Emmett. I know are frequent flyers with the flashlights. Emmeline,
but I'm just saying, like a Harold. We would know. Like, I'm sure we've got Harold.
You know what? If I would have heard Harold yesterday, I would not have even thought
That's
of him.
What I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's...
I would have been like, oh, who are you, Harold? But it could be a random Harold. Yeah. Or it could be the gentleman we were just talking about. You know what I mean?
Somebody mentioned John Wayne Gacy earlier. I wish I could show them a picture of Michael. She used to work with this guy, this male nurse, and he is a freaking dead ringer for John Wayne Gacy. A dead ringer.
Which one?
Michael.
Oh, yeah. At least he thinks so.
His face. I mean, they got the same face. They got that. I'm telling you, they share DNA. They could.
7 Moody says, hey, my friend Ray loves your lives. Can you shout out Ray? And I don't know how to pronounce the name, so the last name, but hello, Ray.
What's up, Ray?
Hey.
Glad you like our channel. Yeah, seriously. We appreciate all the support, guys.
Baby Blues, just your friendly neighborhood stoner passing out good vibes.
Hey, I'm with you on that. This is what you call this is what you'll see with me on the. I'm a huge cannabis guy.
Oh, huge. Kate, you said it. She says the most amazing people I know are in heaven. Absolutely. That was my grandmother and actually my mother for me too. I just didn't realize it, unfortunately, till after she was gone.
I have a little bit of course, anxiety about it, but I have a little bit of like, I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to seeing some people. I'm looking forward to, because I know they're there. That's the cool part. Knowing for sure beyond the shadow.
Oh, they
Yes.
just let us know.
Knowing for
That
sure
was
that
for
they're
sure a sign.
there. And you know what I mean? And we've actually spoken to some of these people. Like my Nana was very, she made my childhood. If it wasn't for her, I would not have had any sunshine in my life.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
Nana.
and when she came, like knowing she's there all the time, um, and other people, other friends, my brother Steve-O, I don't even know what he looks like, guys. I can't get a picture of him. So one day we will see each other face to face.
Oh, John, you tried so hard for that picture. That
I
just
can't
reminded me.
I can't get it, guys. The parents went out of their way to shut that shit down.
It was Steve-O and Lynn.
There you go, my brother. You know,
made me a
he's my
believer.
spirit brother. Like he's my brother.
He
Steve,
says that sometimes.
yeah, we have so much in common, and like he's now my brother. But anyways, I called the high school, right? Because I know what high school he went to, because it's listed on the crash report that I have. They said they would look into it. I got a call back, and the way she spoke to me, I knew something had happened. I knew. Um, when we first started looking into this, you could look up his burial site. It's no longer online. It's not there.
I don't know. Did you tell me that?
I think I did. I thought it's gone, guys. They removed it because they don't want people. For some reason, they want this to be buried. They don't want anything public about their son's passing. I don't understand it. I talked to the brother. The brother does not want any evidence of his own brother. It's like, dude, I can give you. You can hear his voice. I can give you countless clips of your brother saying hello.
I was proud of you for like doing that, because I'm timid when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I've shared that with you guys before. It's just hard for me to
good
like
idea.
approach
Lisa
people
says.
on that subject.
Yeah, so
that's a really good idea, Lisa. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to ask him. He told me to reach out to his brother. That's who he told me to reach out to. The parents, forget about it. They want that. So what happened was I reached out to the brother. I sent him emails. I never knew if he got them, right? Then I found his phone number, guys. I texted him. I never knew if he got it till one. And then finally, I was actually sleeping like right there. I took a nap, and one day I got up and I was like, I'm calling right now. I just picked up the phone and I hit send, and the brother, he answered, and I started talking to him, and I said, hey, is this
he listened. He did let you get out what you needed to say.
So this is what it is. The parents have programmed these kids. I can understand Steve-O and the overbearing bullshit that he had to deal with, because the kid listened to me. He is he's a teacher at a college, this guy. He listened to me for about 15 minutes, and then he told me he wasn't interested in taking it any further or hearing any of the evidence. But the fact that he listened to me tells me that in his heart, yes, he wanted it.
So maybe that's
it was disgust. I'm telling you, it was disgust. I asked him, "Did you get my text?" He said he got my emails and my texts. So he definitely just.
Can I give you my take on it?
Go ahead.
So if he told you that he got your emails and your text, and then still allowed you to give him a 15-minute synopsis of everything, then you got off that phone feeling like so discouraged.
Yeah, I was broken when I got off that phone.
Maybe it brought something back alive in him that we don't even know. We don't know what he's doing right now.
Guys. That's what I hope, because
he could have went home and had a conversation with his parents about it. Oh, Do you guys see the pink K2 meter going off, which is my meter, of course, by the way?
No, Steve-O goes over there. He goes over there. Some of the Tottens actually confirmed Steve-O visited his family. I got these EVPs on some of these videos. And then they say, oh, he's back. So he goes over and he visits his family. There you go. And then he comes and hangs out with me.
So, like, you really could have helped him, you know, and I truly feel like I hated when you were feeling discouraged. At the time, I don't think I even thought about this. I just said, like, he knows you tried, you kept your word.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's all that matters. But now, you know, we're further along in this and we've talked about it a lot more. I really think that could have been his whole reason why he asked you to do it in the first place.
Just to plant the seed.
To plant the seed.
Yeah.
To plant the seed.
It's, man, you know, like the guy that we were talking, me and Lynn were talking about that guy, Matt, that came in the other day. She says to me, that guy, you know him. I said, well, I don't know that name. She's like, that's not his name. You know that guy. She thinks it was somebody from YouTube, you know, but that's the thing. Like it's people don't know beyond this. A lot of people, like I didn't until we started this channel and we started hitting pay dirt evidence.
No, I think you kind of knew. I think years ago when
I knew, but I had that doubt. I had that doubt that I was like, okay, I think it could be something. Are the shows? It could, you know, everybody thinks, are the shows real? Is the stuff that Zach Bagans does, is it real? Or are these just anomalies that happen and there's just no people just can't find the explanation for it? The Thomas House thing, the first time I saw the K2 and the flashlight light up simultaneously, intelligently to questions we're asking.
That's what I was going to say.
That hooked me.
Correct.
But even after that, I still, after a while, the doubts start to creep in. Oh, well, was there maybe like a surge of electricity and it just happened to coincide with the questions?
But then see, I think though we've also had a couple of mortality checks also, like since all of that happened, and that like made you want to seek answers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good, you know what? He has my number, Lisa. That's the thing. And he's got my emails too. I would love that. So you have no idea.
That might happen sometime.
I didn't even think about that. In my mind, that kid is so influenced by his parents, but you never know. You know, you never know. Let's just hold a positive thought on that one. Thank you for that.
Kate says that she was tossed in charge of the fridge kit. She was up every hour administering the meds, and that she didn't get to sleep for 3 days. So that's it's hard for me to like express really what I'm trying to say to you, Kate, is that as even though it was like really, I'm sure, hard for you and sad, that I hope you found like some peace in doing that, because I just recently had an internal struggle. You know, I can't say like too much about it, but just struggled with a hospice patient who was 25, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. And I came home and was, you know, giving John just like limited details, but just telling him how like sad it is and this is how I feel and I felt this could be better. And he was giving me suggestions of like how to make her more comfortable.
Yeah.
This was a conversation just last night, actually. And then today I went in like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then by the grace of God, I didn't even have to do it, and everything just ended up happening naturally and peacefully. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know she passed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but So, but there's something about when you can make
She may
somebody
come visit you.
comfortable and, like, there's just something about it for me. It just makes it's a sad thing, but it gives you some peace knowing that they're going peacefully.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a huge blessing, guys. Um,
and also, I just
go
want to
ahead,
add
go
one
ahead.
thing because this is actually really important to me and it has to do with this. But I didn't know her out like this was a very young girl, the youngest patient I've ever had, like my children's age.
Yeah, that's what got you.
And so I was really struggling with that, but I was doing some like legal digging and some things and realized in my heart today, I knew that she was better off
Better
like
off on
on
yeah.
the other side.
Yeah, she came from a not so good family and surroundings, but passing peacefully, like I said, is a huge thing. Like the guy Mark I was talking about that Lynn wanted to communicate with and hear him, he passed very similarly to Dapper Dan.
Really?
Yeah, he drowned. With some weird freak accident thing. Um, that's the type of stuff. And then, of course, people that take their own lives because of the way that they feel. That's hard because I've been in I've been in places, dark places like that, and I know that those feelings pass. I just wish Steve-O would have hung on another year. He could have moved out and been, on his own. You know what I mean? And just it's. But I know how it is when you're in that place. You don't feel like you can go on another second. And those people and the people that like Sarah's ex-boyfriend Tony with the grandparents that they somehow ended up underneath the semi, the trailer,
Yeah.
an old couple, and one of them passed and the other one got hurt like very badly. Uh, Stuff like that, like that's nobody wants to pass that way,
No.
and I think that affects the way you enter the other side, enter that realm. You know, it's if you're passing peacefully, I think it's just like a seamless transition.
Well, I was saying to you too, like I just wanted to do more, like for some reason, because I'll be completely honest, because of the patient's
Yeah, keep
age,
passing it.
I just kept envisioning my girls there.
Of
Like
course.
literally in my head, that's what it was. And so it really effed with my emotions,
Mm.
like big time. It was difficult.
See, Lisa says my mother-in-law passed peacefully. It was a true blessing for everyone. Yeah, nurses that I don't know how they do it, guys, because they take care of these people. And in a lot of cases, they get to know them very intimately because if you're changing them, cleaning them, giving them meds, turning them, and you have that intimate contact, you get to know them, and then they pass. I don't know how you do it. You've had so many people pass, it's just hard to that's something I couldn't deal with. You see how broken I get over just the pets, my guinea pig. Forget about it, guys. I'm still like reeling
I
from
just
that.
heard it in your voice, actually.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
But I want to share this too, that happened when that happened. So I'm not on the floor that often, and I wanted to take care of this patient for whatever reason, just like in my heart and my soul, I wanted to take care of her. And this was another first for me in my career. When it was over, there was an aunt who was a nurse, and she asked, because we always, as nurses, go in and we like clean the patient up, like brush their hair, make them presentable. A lot of family want to pray over them. And she said she always hated hospital gowns. So she made her like this special like gown. So, and she asked if she could bathe her instead of the nurse bathing her. So she bathed her, brushed her hair, put her in the special gown for her parents and everybody to come in and see her. And like that, the gown I was in the bathroom crying.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's I couldn't do it. I'm not built for that. I'm not wired like that. And that's probably why we balance each other out. Kate says, my sister is suffering because she's a mortician and has a father from the recent Texas floods. They're keeping him until they find his wife and daughters. Oh my goodness. That's I can't even imagine.
Did you hear about that? Do you know how many children?
They
were talking about it at work one morning. I don't watch the news anymore because it's just devastating.
It's too negative.
It's too negative.
Yeah.
And I told them they had to quit talking about it in the nurses station because it bothered me so bad. Like I couldn't take it.
Yeah,
I got
can't imagine.
overwhelmed. And that's true. I have this sickness. Like I had literally felt like I was gonna vomit. I feel like I'm getting more and more sensitive to those kind of things.
Yeah, because it's what we do. It seems to contact with the spirits, like what I do. Like I don't know how. I really don't know how it's happening, but I'll hear it in the house. I'll be trying to take a nap. I'll hear whispering. I'll be upstairs. I'll literally see shadows going in and out of my office room, uh, where I used to go live from, where I work. I see him going in and out. I hear him talking. That I'm gonna call it an ability, I guess, or because I'm able to do it.
No, that's a
but
good word.
The more we do what we do, it seems like that ability gets fine tuned. She used to never hear any of them, never hear anything, and she's like, "Oh, if John heard it, there's got to be something there." But now she's starting to hear them.
I was telling him that, like our Thomas House video when he was editing it, and I was watching that. I noticed how much I was like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And then there was something there. But also, though,
It's cool.
I've
That's
shared
cool, too,
before that I feel like I'm a true empath. So as you are like talking about, like these special abilities, I'm like my empath feelings that has become more like that has become stronger.
It develops.
Also,
Yeah, it
like
develops.
now that we're saying this out loud, like the feeling that when I'm telling you I've been getting nauseous over very like sad situations like that. Like before I would be sad about it, genuinely sad, but now I feel like sick about it.
Yeah, it's the psychic of everybody has psychic ability. Everybody does, and it's um like Christina Bloom. She wrote the book Intuitive You. That is about people's abilities and how everybody has it. Uh, how you develop it. See, that's the thing. I wish somebody would give and I think Chris did. There's some of that about that in that book, but a step by step instruction on how to develop that.
That is what that book is about. I'm disappointed in myself because I've been trying to read her book for a long time.
Ooh, 7 and 8-year-old.
Because I want to read it and have her back on. She's already agreed to come on and just like do an interview that I lead.
That's who was supposed to be up there with the haunted train, and something happened last minute, and she wasn't able to make it. But that's who we were going to meet up with.
Yeah, so I'm like, if there are any people who are still here who remember her, she was one of our first. She was the first psychic we had on.
Yep.
And so, like, we really want to have her back, but I want to read her book, and I know a few people bought her book too with our suggestion.
Yep.
And I bought
Dara
a couple
did,
because
Drazo did.
I wanted to gift one to my friend Dara, who that's how we became connected. The true belief in like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's got, and it's cool. I know a few people have gotten some really good readings from Lynn, and I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for a psychic reading or thinking about getting a reading, let me know, because I know a few psychics, but Lynn in particular is very, very gifted. She doesn't give herself enough credit. She always says that Hillary's she's way better to me. I think Lynn underestimates herself. I haven't had a reading from Hillary, so I can't speak on that. Lynn says she's spectacular. I trust Lynn's word, so she's got to be pretty good. But Lynn, for me, has blown me away a few times, and she's brought people to tears right here on the show. So if you want a reading, she's really good. Um,
I want to read Dara's comment really quick. Dara says, I'm pretty sure she passed away peacefully because part of having an empathetic nurse checking on her and giving her compassion helped her pass quietly. You helped her find peace.
well, that was the thing we were talking about because, like, she didn't know what to say to this girl.
And I work with Dara, so she's very familiar with the situation.
I was telling her, go in there and talk to her. I don't think you had a lot of time when there wasn't a bunch of people in the room.
Yes, correct.
But she wanted to go in and just talk to her.
Do more. Do more.
Yeah, but knowing what we know, I don't know. I really don't know if it's illegal, if you're allowed to do that. Are you even is that a violation if you were to talk to people about what we do? For the channel and investigate.
I don't do it because there is some weird like soliciting clauses.
Yeah.
And like they don't even want us to accept gifts from people. So they're very weird about that. So I actually
It's better off not doing it,
Right,
not talking about
right,
it. Yeah.
correct.
But paranormal stuff happens there all the time. But I was telling her, just go talk to her. Even if she's uh not conscious, still speak to her. She can probably still hear you. Um, she's had patients show up. I'm telling you, Tab, we're gonna figure out who Aveda is. We've had a woman. Her name's Aveda, and she says, "I was a patient you treated." Like very clear when we were in Florida, she came through. So they do show up. It's really cool. So rolling this big old fat one here. Gotta have my cannabis. Yeah, yep. She exactly, Lisa. Sometimes words don't need to be spoken. She knew Tab cared for her. And then BB says Lynn is amazing. Oh, yes, she is. That is true. She's great. I worked in senior living before. I took care of my dad. I am not giving personal information, but it's real. It's definitely real. I've heard countless stories, times when Tab has seen the same things over and over again when there are patients and they're passing and they're in their bed and they're talking to all the others in the room. And it's literally people show up when babies are born, big holidays and events, and when you pass.
You should see the pink ones going berserk.
They all show up. So that I can't say that I'm not somewhat looking forward to seeing these people again. I mean, I am. I'm not in a hurry to go to that side,
Yeah, I don't
but
like that.
knowing that this is the way it works, it changes your perspective on life and how you spend your time, who you interact with. What it like all you got to do is be a good person.
Well,
Be a good person. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just said to Dara today, though, that like I don't like being around negative people. It's okay to vent, but there's just certain people who
They're energy
every
vampires.
day from the time they walk in to the time they leave, just suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
They hate their life. They hate their job. They hate this. They hate that. They hate their car.
You tell them this, and they got, well, I can't do that because of this. Well, why don't you try this? Well, I can't do that because of that, and then I can't do this because of this. So, like, you give them every freaking opportunity you can come up with, and I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then
Energy
it
vampires.
just makes me I could feel it, like my mood getting worse and worse and worse. And then John calls me just to say hello, and then I'm like, "This is Tabetha," and he's like, "Hey, babe," and I'm like, "Yeah."
I give her little vent sessions during the day. I get to hear about things. Well,
Dara's comment is about Lynn. It says, Lynn is a beautiful person. She changed my life and my perspective on the spirit world. Nobody can tell me different. Thank you, Lynn, if you read or watch this later. That was sweet.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I have to say, like Steve-O,
She
that was
helped
the
with that for
big
you.
time.
That was a
That was
game
huge.
changer.
That was huge. Like she got me through. Cottonmouth from smoking and yapping.
Yeah.
Anyways, she got me through this period where the spirits that were coming, they were swarming me, and it had me on this emotional roller coaster, and I was hitting some really really low lows. Of course,
It was affecting our marriage. We talked
it was
about
affecting
that.
everything, my
Yeah.
health,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Like I didn't do much shows during this time, but like I lost some weight. I wasn't eating. It was really
He
bad.
was literally just pretty much sleeping, and that
But
was it.
but she could tell immediately that it was like my emotions were being affected because I would just go from 0 to 100 like that for no reason, and I could tell that it wasn't. I knew it wasn't me. It was starting to worry me. So I talked to Lynn about it, and whatever we were doing, and I did a little bit of a cleansing here, and I just worked on it. I just worked on it and setting boundaries and things like that. And
They agreed. Both of the K2s went off behind you when you said I worked on it.
they help, yes, and they help. I still get reminders. I have.
I helped you realize it, I think, because we talked about this before. And then Lynn validated it.
And then the
that was
spirits,
kind of like, and then the spirits did.
and then they'll tell me, "Don't be an asshole."
And then it sunk in for him.
It did. It did. It clicked. People always ask, how often do you guys do cleansings and things like that? Not a lot. Not a lot, because
we're told we're protected all the time.
I believe that we are protected very very well.
I feel like we are,
especially at home. And when we go out, we're protected. If it's dangerous, they tell us very quickly, get out.
And usually by then I'm already having a feeling.
Yes.
Like I'm like one of us is looking around. I'm more sensitive to that energy part, but he'll get it sometimes. So then if I'm noticing him looking around, I'm like, well, what's going on? So then I'm kind of like zoned in more on my energy feeling. And we always go with our gut feeling. We do. When we don't feel like it's a safe zone anymore.
Because that's you have to trust your
we're
gut.
done. And then when his gut is really bothering him, then
there it goes again.
Then we're like doing our protection prayer. We were doing it every time. We've been honest about it.
Hey, and
but
when
then
we were doing it, it wasn't
we
working.
protected.
It wasn't, but
no,
at first it was not working.
Because that was the time you were struggling.
It wasn't working, guys. We were doing we were saging, doing the prayers and all of this before we started investigating. After, in the car, right when we got in the car, and then it wasn't working. So I think a lot of it is your own energy and the boundaries and the strength of your energy, and the boundaries you put up. It's like, just like, I think it was Lisa that said, when you were taking care of the girl, she knew. So like, it's a lot of it's just your mental energy, right? You don't even have to speak the words out.
Correct.
You just know, like, you feel the energy. I recognize negative energies too, because we've been around them enough and been validated by the spirits that there is something there. So you get familiar with how it feels.
Yeah.
Lisa, let me read some of the comments.
Go right ahead,
Lisa says, during my mother-in-law's service at the gravesite, a male and female red bird sat in the tree near the grave, and when the prayer was finished, they flew off together. It was my mother-in-law, it's my in-laws being together. Yeah, those are things that
Dara is really into the Redbird thing, by the way.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people. Didn't we buy
those are
somebody?
signs. Those are definitely signs that a lot of people will just dismiss as nothing. But there are a lot of signs and things that overlaps. There's a lot of overlaps from that realm and our realm, and things like that are 100% messages from that side.
I agree. Has anyone ever put a 1 in the chat if you've ever like just laid there and talked to a loved one and said, "Give me a sign.
Give me a sign that
Please
you're
give me a
around.
sign."
Yeah, I need to have some type of sign that you're
Yeah.
around.
Yes. I'll be like,
I've
here's
done
an
it.
example. I'll be in the kitchen and I'll just be in my emotions and I'll be like, I know you can hear me, Mom. Because I'll be in my thoughts thinking about all the things life has thrown at us. And I know you can hear me, Mom. Can you just give me a sign that you hear me? Because you just want to know in that moment that that person
Is
that
right.
you
It can hear you.
miss
Yeah,
can hear you.
and see you and
That's
all that.
simple.
Yeah, and you
It's
get them.
literally that.
And a lot of times people overlook those signs. It's we can't comprehend the big picture, guys. What we don't even have a tiny grasp on how it is. Like, um, how the words that come at the words that come through coincide with the devices, and like a lot of this stuff is connected. You don't the EVPs. It's weird because you could be walking on crunching gravel, right? And the sounds, the vibrations in the air from the sounds of the crunching gravel, EVPs embed in those sounds. It does not have to be the spirit box. They can use any type of sound that I've discovered. Um, so there's so much more to that realm that we
Yeah.
don't know. That we don't know.
And I think like even Dara can testify. She's a close friend of mine and she's went on some investigations with us. I don't think it, we even do justice with the edited stuff that Dawn puts out for everyone for our channel. Like I really don't until you are in that moment, have the spirit box and you literally
Are
can
experiencing it
hear.
yourself.
Yes, or
Yeah.
you're sitting here when he's editing and you hear that EVP, like because sometimes it takes a few times of hearing it, and
And
then
then you're
you're
like,
like,
holy shit.
yes. And then you realize like you just heard someone
From the other side.
from the other side. I can't even explain that feeling.
It's exhilarating.
It's like
it touches
it's so
your
weird.
it touches your in your inner spirit. Like you
It's
feel
like your soul feels.
fulfilled. Like you get this knowingness.
It's like
That
holy shit.
yeah, yeah. It's
Holy
like, oh my
shit.
God, that person that I know, that they're there and they hear me and they're talking to me right now. It's that is an experience. I mean, you can watch the videos. They're really powerful. Dara can attest to that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because she's went to some of those with us. She's been on a couple of the
Oh, you got a
videos
bunch
like
of
in the
ones, yeah.
background.
Let's see. I wanted to read some of these.
It's amazing.
And I'm glad. Kate said she was glad to come out of the closet with the spirit realm when we came forward with this stuff. A lot of people feel like they're going to be looked at as a kook if they say, "Hey, I had this experience." Because believe me, I get berated. I had a nasty comment on the perfume ghost EVP when we said, we smelled some perfume. It smelled nice, and it says that was nice. Thank you. And somebody said, I don't hear shit. I'm like, well, I for a second, see, I just removed that comment. My impulse was to say, clean the shit out from between your ears, and maybe you'll hear something. That's what I wanted to say. That's the old me coming out, right? That's all the shit between your ears, clogging up your fucking hearing. I wanted to say that, but
And he still got it in.
I said it to myself.
Per usual.
I did, but I didn't say. He's not listening. I'm
We
sure the
don't
guy's
know.
not listening. But
We don't know.
if he is listening,
see,
I'm
he
just
got
kidding.
it in.
No, it's. I wanted to put that though, but how can you not hear that? How can you not? How could he really not
for
hear
lots
that?
of reasons, like when he's getting frustrated, When you're getting frustrated.
When you don't hear it, I hear it.
When I don't, yeah. You say that exact words to me. Do you know?
How can you not hear it?
Yes. And then I'm like, because I just don't, John. Like, we hear differently. Because we do. But I really wish, like, if I could give a gift to everyone, it would be the gift of, like, having that experience of hearing just one EVP. Whether it's a loved one or not, I'm telling you.
Turn on a flashlight.
It still hits, like, deep down. To, like, it gives you some different kind of peace. It didn't happen instantly. It, like, gradually, like, then I'm like, holy shit.
I know what it was for you. I know what it was for you. In my parents' house, when your grandmother and your grandfather came through, and then your grandmother on the other side, Virginia Smith and the Bankses both came through very clearly. I think that time, like, really, I'm not sure. It was about that time, though.
And with that comes a lot of emotion, too, because when he said that, like, so what he just shared with you, so my grandmother Banks, like, raised me.
Yep.
And my grandmother Virginia was active in my life. I was very blessed with, like, all the grandparents and all the things. And, but I was very, very close to my grandmother who raised me, really, like, and that's the same grandmother that my daughter wears the t-shirt in. Yep. And my kids thought was my mother. And with that being said, I felt guilty that I always assumed every time my grandmother came through and would tell me it was my grandmother, that I assumed it was my grandmother Banks. I loved my grandmother, my other grandmother.
Yeah. But you were closer with...
Yeah, so then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh. And I even said it to her as we're talking. I'm sorry. I didn't forget about you. You know, it's just I assumed.
Yeah. I have the same thing. Like, I have go-to spirits on that side too. I have my grandparents from on my mother's side. I don't think I've ever got them to come through. That's the Sicilian side.
I used to remember, like, wanting that for you, but I think we have. You've had the Leo stuff.
I believe that I may have heard them earlier with Lynn. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try that here, maybe us privately, but I think they're more reserved. You know, some people are front and center. They want to be right up there and talk, and then a lot of people are more reserved, and they may not come through unless you specifically ask for them. We got a big crowd. You better relax on that stuff, buddy. You're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. I stopped with the buzzball. I learned my lesson the last time.
That's because he's a lightweight. I don't drink a lot, but I do drink on vacation, and I do drink when I have girls' nights, like every 2 or 3 months. You know, I go out with my girlfriends, but
yep, it's. I don't know. I don't know. I'm much different now. I mean, you always see me my whole progression on YouTube. Things just don't matter. It's like the whole arguing with nitwits. It's so much of a waste of time. There's so much other things to experience.
Yeah.
You know, like Kate. I don't want to imagine life without being shown truth. Yeah, exactly. Who wants to just sit there and not experience things and learn what life's about? Oh, there you go. It's about experiencing things. That was a big hit. I wish somebody would hit a flashlight though.
But it's also about remembering that in, like, your everyday life, because I think we get so far removed.
There, enjoy, Tabetha. I had a girls' night last night, Jen says.
Yeah. And hello, Jen.
Saturday
I meant to say hello to you earlier when you came in. Yeah, I love my girls' nights too, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, they all got your back. All right, I'll have my little pina colada.
I didn't say you have a pina colada.
These are actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
See, look, we have to put M&D, mom and dad, because our kids will go in there and take our shit.
not kids. We have
They're adults.
the 27-year-old son.
He's not much of a drink. Now, I don't know,
He's
the
not,
girls
but
might.
occasionally he'll have company. Yeah.
No, it's an adult household now. That's one big change.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Cheers. Cheers, Kate.
I'm not a whiskey drinker. Unfortunately, I can't indulge in that to be too heavy duty for me. In my day though, it would be like gin. If I was gonna have something to drink, it would be like a dry gin. Yeah, I'm not. It's who got me on the gin was your stepfather, Gary.
I thought they were more like whiskey.
No,
Like
Gary.
Crown
Gary
Royal.
was maybe your mom. Gary was more of a gin guy, and your mom kind of kept him away from that, so he kind of stayed with the wines and the beer.
Kate, what are you drinking tonight? And what is your do you drink whiskey? I'm curious.
Yeah, we should have a show.
And Jen, what did you do for girls' night? Did you guys have a drink? What did you drink? I'm just curious. It is spirits.
What's your
spirits?
What's your drink that you normally have when you go out with the
Look,
girls?
the spirits just lit it up too when I said that.
Espresso martinis in a can. Okay. Oh, that sounds good.
I've seen those, I believe.
Patio drink. Yeah. What do you get? What do you normally have when? I would be a margarita guy if I would go out something like that.
Really?
I'm nothing heavy duty.
I don't know. I'll try like lots of stuff. Like if I'm at home and I'm entertaining, like when I had my girlfriends over, I'm like a wine kind of girl.
Yeah.
Like I found some sweet reds that I like finally, and that's taken a while.
She's gotten yuppified, guys. Now we came up from meager accommodations, and we struggled when we were younger.
Less than meager accommodations.
But she's gotten so yuppified. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, because I've gotten kind of like
we've worked hard to get where we're at.
Yeah,
like I was just thinking that like John's had a toothache for like a while now, so he's got to go to the dentist. And I've had an issue with this tooth also. So I was thinking like, how embarrassed am I going to be when I go to the dentist and I'm going to have to explain like my teeth look so bad just because I've neglected myself to take care of my kids. If they looked at my daughter's teeth that has $20,000 worth of work in it, would make me feel not so embarrassed. And
it's
when
all
I go in because I have a cavity
and done, and it's
so that's not yuppified. That is we had children at the age of 16. I graduated high school with 2 kids. I went to college.
Yeah, she struggled through all that. Can you see? That's like that defies the odds. So like, and we tried to tell our kids that do not, like we didn't want our kids repeating the cycle, right? Nobody wants their kids to have kids before they're adults and established and have a footing in life, right? So the kids broke the cycle actually because it's watching how she did it is she's an exception to the rule. She's not the rule. Okay, so
but my middle daughter thinks I walk on water. Literally,
she copies everything.
Literally. When I tell you she follows in mom's footsteps, and I think she worked with me. Actually, she's worked at every job. I call her my little mini stalker. She worked at the hospital with me, and she hey Joe. And my the head director came in and when she found out she was my daughter, I guess my daughter said a lot of stuff to her. So she came up to me personally on my floor and said how highly my daughter spoke of me, and that it was such a compliment to the type of parent that I am. It was probably one of the best compliments I've ever had. But my daughter has literally worked at every job I went through, have the same amount of kids, everything. She's like my little mini doppelganger.
No, see, Kate says the same thing. Like they neglect the hell out of themselves. That's what we did that for our kids. We literally went without to make sure that they had. Look, I know what it's like to go to school and be made fun of because you don't have this or that. And look, it's not about possessions and things. Let's just be honest. You make things easier for the kids by giving them what you know. Okay, if that's what's the trend here, have it. Whatever. It doesn't. It's not. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. It's only a couple of bucks. Um,
Yeah.
it's all. It's she.
It's funny
Guys,
because I did that for my
her
kids.
shoes used to talk to people, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say he used to. I can not tell you how many times this man said, "Tabetha, go get yourself a new pair of shoes. Why are you wearing shoes that hurt your feet or have holes in them?"
They're literally like, I'm like, what? You want me to glue those or something? Like, why don't you just go buy a new pair? Like this was, and it didn't matter. It could even be a cheapy pair. She just would put the money into the kids, and make sure that they had it. And she just got so used to that. I think that you just,
Yeah,
got into that habit, and it's been hard to get her to. Well, now our kids are grown, so it's different. But
I still have a lot of those same tendencies because
Yep.
if I took you upstairs to like my room, you would see so many brand
Oh
new
my God.
Stanley cups, makeup, expensive MAC makeup, all kinds of crazy stuff. My girlfriends, my kids, my husband have got me. And because I grew up poor, like I want to save my good stuff. It's a really bad thing.
166 still missing and 129 dead so far. Oh my God. That's terrible, man. I have such a different outlook on that stuff too. I can't imagine that. It I can't. It having your health and having your kids and everything in order is such a blessing. Uh, because things like that, you never know when something could happen.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Those things are beyond our control. So that's why it's important to be a good person and just try to be happy in your day-to-day life. And that's all. That's all you can do.
Jen and Barrett says the weather has really changed globally. It has. It has.
Well, we're coming out of it.
It's been miserable here.
We're still coming out of an ice age. Like this is, our world has done this for forever. They go into an ice age. It comes out of an ice age, goes back into one. Um, I guess only time will tell. We'll be along for the ride. What scares me? I saw this show once where they were talking about Planet X and like if there were like the dinosaurs and the meteor hitting Earth, and if a giant meteor came by and it passed by Earth and it was close enough, it could literally suck us out of orbit, and then we would then become a rogue planet. Which what would happen is we would be out of orbit, so very quickly the sun would not be heating us up, and the planet would go into a deep freeze. And they said that it would be like negative 1,000 degrees, crazy, unsurvivable temperatures, stuff like that. That freaked me out once. That's like
that kind of shit gives our son anxiety.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Joey.
The same kid who can't even like the music from Forensic Files.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
like gives him the creeps. Yeah.
He used to keep the something over his window when we stayed in Village, no, Pebblebrook, because he was scared to death of aliens and abductions. Alien abduction. You remember that?
Oh my!
He was scared to death. I forget what we watched. I think he saw me play like Fire in the Sky or something. One of those movies. Or what the hell movie was it? But anyways, he literally was terrified because there was a pine tree outside his window, and when the wind would blow, it would tap on, and he just it just drove him nuts. So
that's funny though, because he was scared of like real life events that could happen. I mean, people believe in aliens.
White vans. The kids would every time they'd see a white van, they'd freak out and go running.
He thought all kidnappers were like in white vans from the true crime stuff that I watch. So he's just like very Oh, I love that kid. He's silly. Any of those things scared him. I was scared of like silly stuff when I was little, like Chucky. Like now I look back and like, really?
Well, I always was a little bit spooked about the basement at my parents' house, but since we've been investigating, Lynn has said something about something very negative being down there. It said there's a demon in the basement. We got those EVPs over there.
We got a clarification on
Yeah,
that.
and it's been there for a while, and it's not a demon though. It's a very nasty person. That's who it is. It's a very nasty person. Um, I don't know who it is. Lynn says it's somebody that's related to me. It's I don't know who it is though. I would like to find out, but there's definitely something very negative down there.
Yeah.
So I guess my feelings were correct. Has anybody ever had this experience? This was a weird one that I had at this house and at my parents. Hearing people from your family talk that aren't home. Like one at my parents' house, I think I was about 16. I was in my room, and it sounded like my brother, who's now passed, and my stepfather came up the stairs and walked down the hallway and into the next room. So I opened the door and they weren't there. So I was like, "The fuck did they walk back downstairs?" So I walked downstairs. Nobody was there. I opened the door. There's no cars there, and I had this jolt of fear that went through me because I knew that whatever I heard was not them. What?
Sorry, Jen and Barrett. She cracks me up. Oh, but what you were talking about was really making the K2.
What's up, Red Rider?
But Jen and Barrett said Sage sat downstairs. Look,
yeah,
but they're agreed. Seriously.
Yeah, no, they've been there with us. So the Tottens have come with us. So you guys know that we have a handful of them that come with us. Steve-O comes with us. So they've been there. They go everywhere. They were just with us at the Thomas house. We asked Emmeline on the Tab asked, "Have you met some of the kids that are here?" And she says, "Already, yes." It's very staticky, but you can clearly hear the words. So they do go, so that they would know. They definitely would know. Yeah, I would sage it. Here's the thing.
But
we've tried saging
without saying too much. I could see I just know what like stuff has transpired in that house over the years, so or could be.
Could that
Do you know what I mean?
Could that have affected some of that stuff?
Yeah.
Do
you think I'm thinking too much into it? Or
I don't know.
Is it one of those situations like we talked about the last time we were live, where like we're wondering if because we are into paranormal and our abilities are getting more keen, is it that? You know what I mean?
I've had a lot of experiences over there. I don't know. Lynn's picked up on it too with what's down there. Can I have to play?
It makes me curious.
Well, it's that they say when there's like doppelganger stuff that happens, that's negative. So I don't know. It doesn't affect me here, but I guess I try to deal with that. I'd have to have maybe Lynn on there at the same time on a FaceTime.
We should see if we could arrange something with Lynn next week.
To do that?
No, just in general, just to be on our show next week.
Oh yeah, she was invited tonight, but she's got the grandkids, the grandbabies.
Lynn, when you watch this K2 meters,
is Mark? Are you here, buddy?
I feel like that was a yes.
Is that a yes? Can you give a big flat up? There we go. Yeah. Okay. He was answering earlier. It's and then when she asked what his brother's name was. His brother's name is Mike, and that came through so clearly. I should have recorded. I didn't have any way of recording it at the time. I wish I would have, because it would have been a really neat one for her to have. But Ooh, it's 11:20.
I know. Let me just read Jen and Barrett's, and then we'll
Okay.
go. Jen, it says, I always think it's funny how you might want a loved one to visit you, but I also think I'm good. I don't need them standing at the bottom of my bed. Literally, I've shared a story on here about when my grandfather passed, that same thing.
You were
I
scared
used
of
to
that.
pray to God.
That it
I would
didn't
say,
happen?
I miss you, I love you, but I do not want to see you. Literally, that was part of my prayers.
Well, I now put something in my ear that's up. I'll put the blanket like right over the side of my head because I hear that whispering, and they come up like if I'm laying there and they're like right in my ear, and it's not scary. It's annoying at times. That I don't know why they want my attention. I'm laying down. I'm not doing spirit box, but they'll do that stuff. Um, a year ago, that would have spooked the shit out of me. I've gotten used to it though. So, anyways, gunpowder nitro. What's up, brother? Yeah, Tab. I've heard that story so many times. How she, was so scared of seeing him. Uh, I actually think that would be a blessing. I'd love to see a loved one or a friend that's passed. I'd love to see that. I hear him all the time. Um, we caught the ghost at the Thomas house going by. I want to catch one in my house. I see him. There's many times we'll see reflections in the door. That door right there, that glass door. We'll see the reflections of stuff behind us. Um, that can be startling, but that happens. But I'm not catching that on camera. I'd like to catch one. I'd like to be like sitting here, have the camera set up, and then have one of them materialize in front of me. I wonder if there's a camera that can see into that light spectrum. There's a video I have in my older videos of a guy in California worked at this. I guess it was whatever company it was. They worked with lasers and cameras, different light spectrum cameras, and this one was seeing in UV, and he was asking for the spirit to, can you show yourself? Because everybody says, can you give me a sign? Can you show yourself? And right when he says that, there's this huge blob of purple energy that was caught by the camera that. Uh, Sees into the UV spectrum a lot more than like the average camera. So it's a special camera. So if I think Ghost Adventures has done that before. I think they've used it a few times on a show. But so those things are out there. Those are the things I want to get. High tech cameras that can see into those light spectrums. We're going to get the next thing we're getting is the SLS imager. So we're going to see, because we know that there's a lot of Tottens, right? Wouldn't it be cool to see half a dozen stick figures standing around in my living room?
That's what I want.
Like, mapping them out. So
next.
That's what we're getting. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
So that's that's the plan. And actually, guys, I just messaged SLS Systems, the company, and I found one. It's like $300, and it comes with the device, the holder, all the chargers. You got to get like a tablet that has the software on it. So I'm gonna get the whole shebang and try that. That's gonna be really cool. That's gonna take our videos and our stuff into the next level, man. Because we can hear them and see them. That would be cool.
And I could feel them.
So I want to know. I always am critical of Zach Bagans because why? Because he's the one in the forefront. He's the biggest one out there. So he went to the zoo that Joe Exotic where the hell was it? Where the hell was it? I forget the name. But anyways, he went there, and the house that Joe Exotic had, where he lived with his husband Travis, the guy who tragically accidentally shot himself in the head. He caught a stick figure of Travis sitting on the couch that he used to sit on and play video games, and then he got him pointing to this closet. Ooh, wow, look at that hit. And in that closet was Travis's hat. I forget the whole story, but one of his things was in there. So it was, according to the video, it sure looked to me like it was Travis standing there communicating with him. So I want to know, was that real or was that bullshit? I want to know. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna test it out. I have a feeling that it was legitimate. I know a lot of people criticize Zach, and I have too. I've been guilty of that. But we've come to find out, what after we did the Bobby Mackey's, I still am skeptical about the demonic part on that. But we look, Drazo can attest to this. Our videos on TikTok were stopping at like 666 views. I started getting change receipts with 666 on it. It started coming through the spirit box constantly. You remember that we were sitting outside Bobby Mackey's.
It was coming through the spirit box so much.
Like the EVPs were demonic sounding. So, we'll see.
Well, I have a comment. Can you scoot over just a little bit? Babe?
Yeah.
That
Right,
it was cool. Way back, but I do want to just address this before we go. So Kate says, my dad shook the doors at me and I said out loud, holy fuck, you scared the shit out of me. I laughed after my straight heart attack. So I wanted to go back to that because that is like, literally, if you've ever experienced anything like that, you're kind of like in the moment, you're like talking to them like they're there.
Because they are there.
And then you realize what the hell just happened. And then you're like, holy shit, that really just happened.
Yep.
You know, and then so
it's cool.
Like I really wanted to go back to that because that's literally like, Kate, I hope you feel blessed that happened to you because that's literally cool. What we experience like all the time.
All the time.
And then it just gets like more and more intense the more and more we like realize what gifts we have. And
it made the views and all the stress about YouTube melt away, guys. Just completely melt away because I was so stressed about that. But doing what we do, guys, I had a classmate in the 3rd grade that accidentally passed away from an accidental hanging. He comes through and talks to me. Like, how cool is that? Steve-O, the Tottens, John Totten was born in 1800, man. Come on. Like, how cool is that? He comes through, 12 years. He was born in 1800, and the War of 1812, he was fighting in it at 12 years old. And I know this guy. I didn't meet him when we were alive together, but I know this guy. That's freaking cool.
Like literally, if everybody would just like take a moment to like just think about all those times you like have felt that way, like have had something
and you
happen
think somebody's
to you,
there, and
right, and just know that like that's exactly what it was.
And you're not crazy. Yeah, you're not crazy. There's somebody was there visiting you.
We are telling you 100%, no doubt, that is what it was.
See,
what you thought it was is what it was.
You're feeling what I've said many times, that I wish I could just take in what I have in my head, that the knowingness of what I've experienced, and just give it to you guys, just and pass it to you and just implant it. And because that would really give a lot of people a lot of comfort and get rid of the doubt.
He has said that, and I have said if I could take like everything that I feel in my gut.
I'm gonna get the Max to Texas. It's a goal.
If I could take everything that I feel in like my gut, my heart when I hear that stuff and share it with you.
Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming stuff.
And I think that's a good place to leave it for the night, babe.
Yeah, I wanted to read this one real quick. But Gunpowder Nitro just got back from the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is in Dayton. That's 40 minutes away. I actually have a telegram, Western Union from 1918, I think. somewhere 1918, a real Western Union telegram going to Wright Pat Air Force Base to a gentleman that later became an attorney for the government. But that's just a pretty neat. I still have it. It's really cool. But he said he just got back from the museum. Let me tell you, some of those planes have some negative energy for sure. A lot of planes seen action in Vietnam, World War II, the Middle East. Yeah, that's a good point. I've been there as well, and some of those planes, I'm not sure if you can still go in some of them. I know when I went there, it was way back in like either the 90s or late 80s. You can feel the energy when you enter those planes. You used to be able to go on a couple of them and get close to them, and yeah, you can feel the energy. Some of the ghost hunters did a couple of episodes where they went to like museums where there were planes and things, and they got some tremendous evidence. These are the things that we should be doing. We'll get to some stuff like that. I'd love to go up there.
Everybody, I think, pretty much knows our plan in the next few months. We're going to be like traveling and experiencing. Like, we are literally starting to put things in place to travel and start sharing more things with everyone. We have some really cool things in mind.
Mm-hmm.
We have a book of I don't remember if it's 100 or 200 most haunted places in the U.S.
Is it the U.S.? And we have an Ohio one too, but then we got one for the U.S.
So we've talked about like doing, like earmarking those and doing those and visiting states and like sharing those experiences.
Texas is on the list, Kate. Don't worry. Texas is on the list. I know OG wants me to come down there. He goes to some places. He sends me videos of these really cool mausoleums that you can literally like look into. Yeah, I would like to get my my hands on some of those places and see what we get.
We've had so many suggestions from like friends, and so we're working out the logistics, and that's what we hope to be doing next and sharing with everyone.
Oh wow! Oh, you can still walk on some of them. That awesome. Yeah, that's what I thought. I would love. We should do that. We should go to Wright Pat and do that. I wonder who we could speak to. I'll literally give them that telegram. I'm like, here, take this. You can display it. We would love to come in just for an hour, after hours at night, and experiment. I think we would get some really cool stuff. So
we have big plans. So
yep. So
I think that's a good place to say goodnight.
Jen says night. I missed some of the stream, but always a good chat. Sweet dreams. Oh yeah. Thanks guys for stopping in. Smash that like button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys soon. And like always, guys, Max, over and out.
Night. I wish the spirits would light it up.